Hey everyone, Two Angry Frogs here, and with multiple avenues to gear out characters, the Warband Bank now available, and most everyone having numerous alts from all of the recent content, the way we manage our characters looks very different than it did a year ago. So what are some things you can do to get yourself organized? What are the last minute preparations you can make so you can jump into the expansion and just focus on the new content? In this video, we'll pass along what we are doing to get ready, and hopefully it helps you all out as well. But before we begin...
Whoa, editor here. I'm going to keep this brief, and don't worry, we aren't putting stuff like this in every video. You clearly like our content, we like making this content, so subscribe and help us out. Only 3% of you guys are subbed, and we know a lot of that is returning viewers, so throw us a bone, hit that funny little button. Alright, back to the normal content, bye!
Now, let's get into it. If you're planning on playing multiple characters in the War Within, an important and future time-saving task you can do now is getting your Warband bank set up and organized. You can start by determining how you want to organize your bank to keep it manageable as you're jumping into the new content. For our Warband banks, we'll be able to pass gear back and forth between our characters, use reagents directly from the bank for crafting, store consumables, enchants, gems, and so on that we can share among our characters, and a myriad of other things. So organizing the tabs of your bank now can save you a lot of time later. The tabs for the Warband bank do increase in cost exponentially, but having at least 3 tabs available will help with getting organized and should be purchasable by most players. And remember that you can deposit gold from any character into your Warband bank, so you can pool that gold for multiple characters to buy bank tabs. For myself, I've decided to play a mini army of alts in the War Within to cover all the professions. Due to this, I'm creating tabs for Warbound until equipped gear and other items, War Within crafting reagents, Legacy expansion crafting reagents, which is purely for achievements and gold making, and a tab for consumables, enchants, gems, and other special items shared between the Warband. It really does not matter how you organize, just so long as it makes sense to you. By tackling this now, when you start the War Within, you won't have to think about what you're doing with the bank and can simply throw things in where planned, saving time while leveling your characters. Directly related to setting up your Warband bank is decluttering the banks and bags of characters that you plan to play in the War Within. This will help you start the new expansion with your characters organized and with plenty of available bag space. For Dragonflight reagents, gear, and other items that will not be used in the War Within, you can vendor them, sell them on the auction house, or in the case of reagents, deposit them into your bank if you plan to revisit Dragonflight professions later. As with the Warband bank, this will save you time down the road and remove something else that you have to figure out later when you're focused on the new content. When it comes to the final touches for gearing characters and prep for the War Within, we would recommend focusing on 2 key areas. The first is ensuring that you are getting as many antique bronze bullions as possible. Note that you can get 2 bronze bullions for completing the last hurrah quest now, so this is a way to easily get 4 bullions over the next couple of weeks, in addition to LFR bosses dropping them. If you are able to get 12 bullions, this guarantees the gear for the neck, weapon, both rings, and both trinkets. And these are on the Awaken track at item level 493 before any upgrades. And this is by far some of the best gear coming out of Dragonflight going into the new expansion. It is correct that we will get better gear as we level in the War Within, but you can shoot for putting that off as long as possible. During the beta with my hunter at item level 512, I was able to get to level 78 before needing to start switching out my gear with War Within gear drops and rewards. As before, this will just allow you to focus on the new content without needing to worry about finding gear or struggling to keep up with the level of the content, making the whole leveling process easier and faster. The second thing to focus on is getting the 4-piece tier sets for your characters. If you have any characters that have not or have rarely used the revival catalyst to convert gear to tier, you should have at least 6 charges, which will get you your tier set. Honestly, I would be surprised if the tier set bonuses are active when we enter the new content, but just in case, it is good to have them if Blizzard decides to wait until sometime after expansion release before turning tier bonuses off. If nothing else, tier sets will give you additional transmog options for your character. If you have played quite a few characters during Dragonflight, it's likely possible that you have reputation tokens sitting in your character's inventory. Now is a great time to go ahead and turn those all in. Now that warbands are active, all of your characters contribute to the same renown tracks. And when you reach max reputation levels, any of your characters can pick up the Dragonflight supply packs from the renown vendors. Although these are not as lucrative as we have seen in prior expansions, each one does still offer a little over 1,000 gold, so definitely something worth picking up to get the little bit of extra gold. Another thing you can look at completing now is setting up a common user interface for all your characters. Whether you use the in-game edit mode or an add-on like LVUI, setting up your user interface will have you ready to immediately jump into the war within. As we have talked about before, you can use edit mode to set up your user interface and then save the UI layout with the new layout function. This enables you to set up your UI for your main character and then simply select that setup for all of your other characters, so the initial setup only has to be done one time. Also, with the common UI, it is easier to jump from character to character since everything you use is in the same location for all of them. Along with the user interface, it will be beneficial to go ahead and set up commonly used macros and weak auras for your characters. Commonly used macros, including @cursor, @player, and tying out race abilities to your class and spec abilities, for the most part remain constant. So these are some that you can set up now and have high confidence they'll remain the same when we jump into the new expansion. If you use class-based weak auras, those are also a good thing to go ahead and set up. Since we have the new talent trees with the pre-patch, we're not expecting major reworks. There will undoubtedly be minor changes, buffs, nerfs, and in some cases, minor effects on our rotations with hero talents, but how we customize our class weak auras should not change significantly. Depending on how much you customize weak auras, this can save a significant amount of time on launch day, especially if you're playing multiple characters. As with your UI, we recommend determining a common way to position and scale your weak auras so it's familiar regardless of the character you're currently playing. The final thing we recommend doing is farming a little bit of gold. Our gear will be changing, we will have new reputations to level, how and what we craft will be changing, and so on. But gold is the one resource that is constant regardless of the content. There are a ton of different ways to pick up small amounts of gold over the next few weeks that add up very quickly and require very little effort. We've already mentioned maxing out renown just through everyday gameplay. Another thing to look for is world quest rotations when the majority of quests are rewarding gold. Doing a world tour of quests during these times can easily net you 5,000 to 7,000 gold. Also, don't overlook the various collectibles around the Dragon Isles. In 10 minutes of farming Expedition Scout packs and Tuskar tackle boxes, you can easily get 500 to 1,000 gold or more, crests, and flight stones for upgrading the Awakened gear we talked about earlier. You can also get other items such as potions that can be thrown on the auction house. In addition, these drop reputation tokens which contribute to getting renowned vendor supply packs. A couple of weeks doing just these two activities can easily net you 30,000 gold or more. So getting everything organized and determining how you are going to manage your characters, bank, professions, gearing, and other areas now will save you a lot of time when we jump into the war within. Come launch day, many players will be looking forward to logging in and starting the journey of reaching level 80 so we can begin getting prepared for in-game content, leveling professions, farming renown, making gold, and so on. The less upkeep-like tasks we need to address, the more we can focus on all the new things to be done. Are there other items that we did not mention that you see as important as well? As always, let us know down below in the comments, and everyone, have a great day.